One concern that I have that is ever present but is a fear now more than ever is censorship of art, especially in this era when everyone is trigger happy to censor any and everything that makes them feel uncomfortable, offended, which is everything due to this hypersensitive era we live in. And now I'm worried that artists will begin to self-censor themselves while in the creative process because they fear the potential social media outrage that if they dare to be bold with their storytelling, it will lead to a huge amount of backlash, and as a result only leads to crap art. And anime seems to be one of the last surviving entities that provides good storytelling or just fun entertainment at a high rate, and not just once every 3 years. But as the popularity grows, so will the shackles these Japanese creators will be forced to work with, stripping the very thing of what makes anime great. And so, I always thought if the quality of modern day or future anime drops significantly to where it's unbearable to watch, I always have the good old classics to revisit that are left untouched. And then I thought, wait, I'm at the mercy of these streaming services that they won't edit, cut out, or censor anything from the original, if I don't have the physical copy, DVD, or VHS myself. So after making this video, I just saw this article this morning that says Sony will stop all production of Blu-ray discs, mini discs, etc. starting in February. Ah man, you're only paranoid until you're proven right, man. Intuition and foresight, man. It's not hard to predict these things, but anyways, back to the video. Well, everybody, that premonition seems to have come true sooner than I thought, with the victim being an anime called Macross Dynamite 7, a 97 OVA from the Macross series. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right.
By the way, it's Macross.
Okay, my fault, Macross.
It's okay.
Thank you, but nonetheless, this is proof that no art is safe on these streaming services, and they wonder why pirate sites are beating Disney in viewership. Now, to be clear, I never watched this anime. I'm unfamiliar with it, but I have a hard stance when it comes to this. I'm against censorship of art, especially when it's done in retrospect. I don't care how much it offends you. And to my surprise, there were fans of this anime being pro-censorship of this scene being taken out, saying it involves a character being essayed and really contributes nothing to the plot, so it's no big deal anyway. And I'll speak later on how that nonchalant attitude works as a slow decay on art, period. But being curious to see what this outrage was about, I decided to watch the OVA last night before I went to bed. And I was expecting to see a gut-wrenching, vomit-provoking scene that makes you turn away from how revolting it is. Instead, I got a very tame scene compared to how people were describing it, to the point I thought I was watching the censored version at first, thinking there must be more to this scene compared to the outrage I heard about it. So I did some research, and it turns out I was watching the uncensored version and I thought, this is what people got upset about? Are you serious? I would hate to see what they would do to one of my favorite movies, Ninja Scroll. If anyone has watched, you know what I mean, from what happens in the first few scenes to that girl that gets captured by the rock guy. If it was up to them, they would eradicate that movie from existence.
Hey, piss off.
Do me a favor. You see, I'm lost, and I need to find the quickest way from here to Kikyo.
Oh, I know the way now.
And this is nothing compared to, let's say, a Death Note, the first episode where the woman almost gets R-worded, let's say, along with the movie Kite or Coyote and Akira from what happens to her being abused. I was really expecting to see something like Goblin Slayer, 10 times as grotesque. Like, damn, they really went there, holding no punches type of scene. Something that's really hard to watch from how violent it is, but it wasn't. But even if it was, I still would not want it removed because I'm against censorship of art. Plus, it really would set a bad precedent, especially when you compare it to these other scenes that I mentioned prior. Now, to the point of saying this scene really could have been done without, it offers nothing to the story or the plot at all. And my response is, I don't care how irrelevant it may seem. The fact is, it was put there by the author, director, or creator with intention behind it. No matter how unimportant it may come off, that's a bad argument to start editing and cutting scenes out, along with, oh, this offends me, so fuck the artist who put the time into drawing this. And this was the 90s, so this was hand drawn. But regardless, their work should be erased because it's inappropriate and offends someone. I can't imagine if Tarantino films were censored or erased because his movies always got criticized for being extremely violent, bloody, and just unnecessary. If that was the standard, we would all be living very dull, black and white, non-existent lives. But thankfully, art brings some type of color and excitement to add to our day-to-day repetitive life. There's plenty of scenes where I thought the dialogue seems forced or out of place, thinking the writer was really reaching and trying too hard, or just trying to score political points.
All anyone cares about in this place are these white privileged assholes.
But I would never advocate to have it taken out. I either just skip it or don't watch it at all, because I understand what type of world that thinking leads to. And if you're the type of person that's trigger happy with the idea of censorship, then I would suggest to take some time to watch the movie Equilibrium with Christian Bale, because that's the world you're advocating for, where it's illegal to be in possession of art or just being an artist facing immediate punishment from the government. There's so many movies that warn against this type of mentality, and there's a joke when it comes to the movie or book 1984 that 1984 is a warning, not a guideline. Side note, Macross is pretty good as well. I always love watching old 90s anime. It's just nostalgic for me, and always appreciate the hand-drawn animation. It just stands out, and the sound effects of the mecha matching the movements is so cool as well. I always like just diving into the past. But anyways, this just surprised me how pro-censorship certain people were about this. It reminded me of the outrage that people had for that certain Chainsaw Man chapter not too long ago that forced me to spoil the damn story for myself because I only read one volume past the anime, but I was curious to see what people were getting upset about. And when I read the chapter, I was like, what? This is it? What is wrong with everybody? I thought the author was involved in some type of scandal or something, the way people were getting outraged by it. Like, Denji is a sex-craved degenerate main character. The story lets you know that from day one and what to expect. Like, what is so surprising here? But cosplayers who probably never watched or read before saying they'll never cosplay as a certain character again because of this chapter. Like, I can see if the story started off like, let's say, a silent voice, then all of a sudden made a switch. But this is ridiculous. Like, come on, y'all. I don't know, maybe it's the era I was raised in or my environment, but overall, I'm against censorship of art, especially being a creator myself. It's a reason why I say free think at the end of every video I do. Creative freedom I uphold even for something I don't like. Like, there has to be some type of crypto version of entertainment, something that isn't bound by government overreach or payment process or rule of laws, but I don't know, maybe something like that will be created in the future, hopefully sooner than later. But that's all I have for this video. Tell me what you think in the comment section below. If you haven't already, check out my music on Spotify, link in the description. If you love those samurai shampoo, lo-fi, mellow boom bap vibes, then my music is definitely for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Free think, peace.